As the ultra wealthy continue to look for new ways to alienate themselves from the rest of the population, namely the working class, a new type of broker can answer questions on what they are looking for, and that has to do with safety. So Henley Partners are the world's premier passport brokering company, and they essentially help wealthy people get passports to other countries. Now, why would wealthy Americans want passports to other countries? As a plan B in case things get real here in the United States. Now, Judy Galast, who's a senior client advisor with this company, says, "We were really at the forefront of creating this industry. We provide a comprehensive A to Z solution to make it as easy as possible to get to your desired outcome." And the desired outcome here is easy travel out of the United States into a safer country should things break out into violence or Armageddon here in the US. So last year, more American investors signed up for this service, but why now? Very wealthy people, they're very, very risk averse. They're kind of paranoid. Funny, because I was told repeatedly throughout my career that wealthy people are the ones who take the risks, which is why they're so wealthy.
Oh yeah, great point.
They're the risk takers, the job creators. Okay, but let me continue. They have a lot of money and they'll do a lot to keep safe. A second citizenship, a third citizenship, a backup plan B, a backup plan C, a backup plan D. You're getting more and more Armageddon Americans. Either President Joe Biden, the communist, is going to take over America, or the fascists are going to take over. And that's really interesting because in that argument, you hear the two sides represented, right? The left arguing that there's a fascist takeover in the country, the left arguing that of the right, and then the right arguing of the left that we're headed toward communism, which is the most laughable claim I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so I hadn't even considered the right wing wanting to leave the country because they're so generally in charge. There's no left-wing coup that could potentially happen here, but they do often talk about that. Now, obviously, they're using this. And I remember when Michael Schur and David Schuster and others went to the field for us. You can check out a lot of that on Rebel Headquarters, another one of our channels. And they would interview Trump supporters and before the 2020 election, and a lot of them said, "Oh man, if Trump doesn't win, I'm moving to." And they had like real plans. One was an accountant who said Panama. Ironically, almost all were moving to Latin America, which I found to be curious. So I didn't know what they were going to say, so that's why I was surprised by it. But so yes, they in their fantasy world, they think, "Oh my God, Biden's a Leninist, and he's going to take away my private property, and so I got to run away to Panama to be safe." Okay.
I actually came across last year when me and my husband took a cruise to Mexico. One of the stops was Puerto Vallarta. And there's actually a giant population of expats in that area. And we ran into an older couple, wealthy couple who live in Santa Barbara, California. And they were specifically there to look at properties to basically have a plan B if things really start to unravel in the United States.
Oh, there's one other paranoia that right-wingers have, which is, there's gonna be race riots all across the cities and black people are gonna riot and I gotta move out of here in time and stuff. Not all right-wingers believe that, but some do and participate in this. Now, by the way, this is not just for the rich, there's also middle-class folks who do it. Why? Because we're now in such a brutal system in America that we don't have universal health care. So almost all the people I know that are from Taiwan have kept their citizenship from Taiwan and go through that process of making sure that they go back enough. It's whatever the rules are, I don't know, right? Why? Because they're like, well, what if we have a real health scare? Then we got to go to Taiwan so that our family members don't die. Because here in America, if you run out of money, and like let's say your kids have cancer, we're gonna let them die, okay? Yeah. So that's why people are reasonably saying, well, I'm gonna need a passport to some other country, to Taiwan, to Israel, to wherever, right? And now that gets to the people who are justified in my opinion, right, in wanting to have this route, even among the rich, right? What if you're a Jewish American and you hear, oh, there's good people on both sides after a Nazi march, right? And you've got the shootings, and then you got Kanye and Fuentes, and then holy cow, they're having dinner with Donald Trump, right? Who might be the next president of the United States again, right?
Yep.
And so, and knowing the history of what has happened to Jews across the world, would you want a little bit of safety and security? I would, right? So I don't blame them at all for that, let alone other folks who are also justifiably worried.
So when it comes to this service and the company that I referenced earlier, Henley Partners, that's a service that really only the rich can take advantage of because of how expensive it is. So for instance, there's a $125,000 price tag attached to investment-based citizenship. I mean, it is true, right? If you're a wealthy person and you want to take advantage of some loopholes in immigration laws in other countries, paying for it'll definitely help. You know, there are some countries where it's like, if you come here and start a small business and invest $50,000 into that business, well, there's a way to get a visa.
There's a country like that called America.
Yeah, that's America actually, you're right.
Except instead of 50, it's 500,000.
Oh yeah, 500, but there are other countries who have similar programs.
Yeah.
And look, honestly, like I've thought about that. Do I want to live in the United States forever? And I'm not looking to have a plan B or escape. It's just, do I really want to live in America for the rest of my life? And the answer is probably not, but at the same time, where do you go, right? Like, I have a lot of interest in the Scandinavian countries, like the Nordic countries, but have you looked at their immigration laws?
And have you looked at their winters?
Yeah, no, I'm not about that. Like the cold life is not for me, except look, if I feel a little bit, if I have peace of mind knowing that there's economic stability like baked into their system, that there's a social safety net that'll catch me should I fall, I think it might be worth dealing with the cold a little bit, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Look, we talked about this when I went to Canada a couple months back, and man, Canada is alluring, okay? Because they have a very similar situation, of course a little bit colder, but they're generally sane, and that sanity is very welcoming.
Yeah, I like sanity, and they're nice.
They're very nice.
I know it's like kind of a stereotype, except from my personal experience from
totally
going there. Everyone's so nice and so friendly and helpful. I love it.
It's in the culture. Culture makes a difference. So anyways, I'm not the kind of guy who leaves. I'm the kind of guy who's the last guy on the ship, right? So I'm staying, I'm not going anywhere. I love this country unless I'm in literal political exile, right? Okay, then what am I gonna do, right? But I don't begrudge anyone who does, including the right wingers. Hey, like you're worried about the Leninists or the riots or whatever it is and you wanna move to Panama, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it, right? Because they think that we're trying to control their lives. No, we're not, we don't care. God bless. Bon voyage.
We just want healthcare, and we want people to be treated well at work and have a seat at the table. Like, I don't care about your personal life.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also applies to the other rich, the good guys, the bad guys, the people who are making reasonable plans, unreasonable plans. You do you, boo. Okay, so if you want to go, God bless, no problem at all. I don't take personal affront in it, even though I love America.
I'm so on America, but I wouldn't like renounce my citizenship. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm in almost
I would never
no
do that.
circumstance.
Yeah, no, I'm an American. Like, but
believe me, the Polish LARPers know.
I know. God, don't remind me of those Polish LARPers. I did not like that.
Which is really funny because here she is, like saying, like, well, I mean, I get it, maybe, right? But you attack America from the outside, and she gonna come for you. Okay, she's like weirdly jingoistic.
No, because like I don't take any pleasure in foreigners in another country mocking Americans living in poverty in the middle of the country, and that's what that was. It really bothered me.
No, of course,
yeah.
I totally get it, and God bless your heart for that. And those Polish LARPers definitely had it coming. They really look like they're the main problem in this world, but they get in the woods and pretend to be Americans. And
no, it was super insulting. I did not like it.
Hilarious, but anyway,
yeah.
Don't get us into another debate.
No,
not another debate. Okay.
It wasn't hilarious, but anyway.
Okay, but listen, you tell the word. I'm going to war against those LARPers. You come for us, we come for you. Okay, remember that, Poland. Although Poland probably has heard that once or twice and has not ended well. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.